All right, Yote fans, welcome back to this week's episode of the Steel Show. Again, as always, with Head Coach Mike Moroski, and a huge show this week. Previewing. Well, obviously, we're gonna mention the Northern game and get Coach's thoughts on that. But obviously, a huge Frontier Conference matchup going to Carroll College this week. So, Coach, before we jump into Carroll, just get your quick takeaways from the Northern game and how you felt like your team played.
Well, as we talked last week, sometimes it's more difficult to get your team ready, for a game that you technically should win. So I was very pleased that we, one of the things we talk about is honoring the game of football.
Yep.
So every time you hit the field, you want to play well, you want to be detailed, you want to have good plans from the coaches, and the players understand what we're trying to do. And so I was very, very pleased where top to bottom, a lot of guys got to play as it played out down the stretch. A lot of guys made plays, and it was very, very satisfying. Obviously, the defense was phenomenal. Montana State Northern, I think, was a bit hapless, didn't have a great plan. We came out with a good plan and completely shut them down. 17 total yards, that's almost unheard of. And but hats off to our defense. Our defense needs to play better. They need to continue to improve. And but that was a good step in the proper direction. Special teams touchdown again. Special teams fumble recovery by Mr. Devin Long, our long snapper. So that was good. And so very, very pleased to get out of that and get a bunch of guys some experience.
Absolutely awesome. And like I said, this is no matter what the opponent, a great team will respect the game and show up ready to play no matter what the situation.
Absolutely.
Right?
I think that's really important, that you just, no matter who it is, whatever it is, even practice to some degree. Get out there and let's get to work.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Well, great job by you and your staff and your squad. And again, moving on to this week, it doesn't get any bigger than this. It's why you love playing in the Frontier Conference and late in the season. And so exciting, I know, for you and your players and the fans for this week's matchup against Carroll. And talking about that matchup, you guys are on the road in Helena, and this has always been just a big game, right? And there's been, it's high-stakes game the last few years and been a great, very competitive, what's turning into a little bit of a rivalry. And so what's it been like to just be a part of these battles and coaching these games?
Well, they've been great games, and Carroll is very, very good. And they're tough on us in a couple of different ways. Specifically, their defense is very good, and they're smart on defense. They know what we're trying to do, and to be honest, some of the evolution of our offense is based on trouble that we've had with Carroll.
Yeah.
And what do we got to do to be a little bit more diverse? And so for the close observers of Yotes football, we're a little bit more diverse on offense. And we just do a little bit of different stuff. In my mind, it's just the natural evolution. But they're good on defense. They have the best defensive line, in my opinion, in the country.
Yeah.
And I obviously haven't seen everybody in the country, but their middle three guys are really, really good. And they'll give us trouble. We like to think our offensive line is pretty good too. So there's one great matchup. That you'll have to watch. And then offensively, they're clutch. Jack Perka is a clutch guy, and he makes clutch plays. If you saw the game last year, the final game, I thought we played great. I thought we were the more physical team. It was a battle. It was a great battle, a great football game, and we just didn't make enough plays. And Perka and Schulskin, the receiver, is a very, very good receiver. And they have a tight end. They find ways to run the ball a little bit, and they make clutch plays. Right at the right time. So that's they fancy themselves as a championship, nationally prestigious program and a contender in that regard. So do we. So it's really, really a lot of fun to prepare for them, to play. Contrasted with last week. The guys know what's at stake.
Absolutely.
So we played our way into this being a big, giant game, and that's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
So we're really excited about the trip and getting up there, and we know Helena, we know Carroll, and it'll be a great game, I think.
Absolutely. And speaking on the Carroll team this year, and you mentioned a few things, but obviously they played some tight ones, and like you said, they've been clutch and have gotten down in some situations and come back. But at the end of the day, you know, they always say in football, you are what your record says you are, right? And they're an undefeated football team. And so, you know, what else have you seen from their team that you think is allowing them to continue to win games and just be so good this season?
They're great question. They're very sound on special teams. They're definitely the best special teams units we've played, whether it's their punt team or their kickoff team or their kickoff return team, you know, and
just assignment sound.
Just very, very good, very, very well coached, and that will be a test, and that will be a battle. That will be an even Steven battle. We're playing, I think, better and better on special teams, so that's a big component of the game that we'll have to see how that goes, and then they just do a lot of really good things on defense. They don't do a lot, but they do just enough, and they hide it, and they make it tough on the quarterback. Mm-hmm. They make it tough to run the ball, and so we feel like we need to find ways to run the ball.
Yeah.
And they make it very, very tough. And then coverage-wise, first glance, looks like there's lots of things open, but again, they mix it up just enough. So that's their philosophy on defense, is to just mix it up, keep you off balance, hit you a little bit, make it difficult, get you to third down, and then they're very good on third down.
Yep.
So we need to be good on the early downs as well. And then offensively, I believe they want to run the ball.
Yeah.
And they're good on the offensive line, and I don't think it's their best offensive line, but I think they're very, very good.
Yeah.
And they're arguably one of the best offensive lines in the conference, and they're finding ways to run the ball. We need to stop the run against them. Otherwise, that opens up just too much stuff for
play action,
for Perka, play action, drop back. Now they can mix and match and stuff like that. But we're excited about the matchup.
Absolutely.
We think we match up pretty good.
Yes, sir. And you know, one thing I wanted to ask you, and it's Carroll College and Nelson Stadium. It's one of the great venues of NAIA football for sure, right? And I remember, you know, in 1999 they were still playing at Helena High School, right? And then I think it was in 2001 that they built Nelson Stadium, and they actually have some further plans for it. But you know, their crowd and their community has really returned to Carroll football as they've, you know, returned to prominence, especially the last 3 or 4 years. So, you know, what do you make of the atmosphere up there and how fun it is to play in a game like that for NAIA football?
And I'm anticipating this will be the best that we've ever played up there.
Yeah,
I think it's late in the season. I think they've, as you've said, it's back to where the fan base believes and is excited and because they had that run there where your brother was part of that, right?
Yeah.
Where they won national championships. It was unbelievable, the run they had. And now they are continuing to reload year after year. They got great players coming in, great young players. And but I think, too, you got to appreciate the people in Helena, like the people of Caldwell.
Absolutely.
They love college football.
Exactly.
You know, and this is a real college football game.
Exactly.
As the great Bill Walsh would say, this is the ultimate competition.
Yeah.
Even Steven.
Yeah.
And let's go see who wins.
No, it's awesome because even, you know, I'm not sure what, you know, Montana or Montana State has on the slate this week because, you know, Montana, Idaho played last week in a big game, but this could very well be the biggest football game in Montana this week. And
Absolutely.
So it's just super exciting.
Absolutely.
You know?
And again, I think, you know, the close observers of college football do appreciate, for lack of a better term, small college football.
Yeah.
But I think the more people that come out to these games, I think it's just good for the game of football. I think this is where the true purity of college football is, and it's going to be a great game. I have a lot of respect for Coach Purcell and the whole institution up there and what they do, and I feel like they respect us, and so I think it's just perfect.
Yeah.
It's a perfect environment. We couldn't be any happier to be in this situation.
Absolutely. Well, and you know, just so excited to be able to turn it on for you guys. And lastly, you know, you mentioned you feel like you guys got to run the ball effectively this week, and you know, but what else do you think are the keys for your team to go into Helena this week and get a victory?
Well, I think we got to start fairly quick, which was an emphasis last week, and we did have a good start last week. We need to score early, so it's not just. I guess that's implied in starting fast. We need to score. We'd like to get ahead of these guys, and that I think that would really help us.
Yeah.
And a lot of the games have been back and forth over the last 4 or 5 years, and so that's just the nature of championship football. So, but I think starting fast, I think stopping the run and establishing the fact that we can stop the run will be critical in the game.
Awesome. Well, Coach, we're so excited to tune in. Thanks for your time.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Broch.
All right, Yo fans, we're here with Cooper Leaf and Cade Flint, a couple stud D linemen for the Yotes this year, and going to be talking to them, asking them about the Northern game and obviously the big Carroll game coming up. So, Cooper, we'll start with you. Big time performance by the defense this week. Hold to record numbers statistically. So, what do you think that your defense was able to do to just have so much success this last Saturday?
Yeah, I just think we prepared really well. Had a really good week of practice and stuff, and our goal all week we talked about starting fast because some of those previous games we kind of had a slow start as a team collectively, and so our goal was really just to have a really fast start, and we obviously did that, and with 17 total yards, we kept that going the whole game, which was cool, and to get a lot of guys in and to keep seeing that performance was really cool.
Absolutely, always good to lock down a shutout.
Yes,
I'm saying those are hard to come by. So, well, Cade, we'll go to you, man. Moving on to this week against Carroll, high profile matchup, top 10 matchup, and like I'd asked Coach Mo, this has just been a high-stakes game over the last handful of years and has been a lot of fun to watch. So as a player, how much fun is it to be in this game? How much excitement is there? And then how excited are you guys to get up to Helena and get another opportunity?
Yeah. This game, it's a blast. It's a rivalry game for us. Of course, EOU is our main rival because they're 2 hours down the road. But this game, we battle every year.
No
we
doubt.
win one, they win one. We get pissed off because they knock us out of conference contention and all that stuff. So we're fired up. Last year, I think we went in the first game we played them. We broke down our game into simple checks, and that's what's kind of turning out of this year. So it's making it really easy for us to just go and play fast, hit them in the mouth, and so it's going to be super fun.
I love it. Can't wait to tune in, man. And Cooper, for you guys as you look ahead this week, what do you think Carroll does pretty well on offense, and what do you think you guys are going to have to do to have success on Saturday?
Yeah, and they've got some good dudes, and they're really well coached. But if we eliminate the big plays and stop the run, and we just do our job, I think we'll be successful and we'll get after them.
I love it. Well, Yo fans, tune in this Saturday, watch these guys tear it up against Carroll, and boys, we appreciate your time.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Yo fans, we're here with John Krebs, stud wide receiver for the Yotes, and the guy we've seen out there for the last few years making a lot of plays for us. So, John, appreciate you being on the show, my man. And
no problem.
Moving right into first, I guess before we jump into Carroll, I wanted to ask you, this season we've really seen the receiver depth for the Yotes take off, and a lot of guys contribute in different situations and make plays. So how has it been for you being a part of that room and being able to see so many guys in there contribute?
It's awesome, just letting everyone get the chances they deserve. We all of us worked really hard this offseason, and just a cool stat that Coach brought on us this last week was that everyone who travels has a reception.
Absolutely.
So everyone's contributed, everyone's working really hard, and just awesome to see my guys out there compete.
I love it. Yeah, it's great, man. And that stuff is what carries you on through a deep season and hopefully a playoff run, And so, well, moving on to a big game this week against Carroll. It's like I asked the other guys, this has been a huge game and a high-profile game for the last few years. So for you, how's it been being a part of this rivalry and this matchup, and how excited are you to get another opportunity this Saturday?
We love it. We love the challenge. Going in, I think they're 6th and we're 9th. It's just the best opportunity of all time. Get to have a championship kind of game.
Yep.
Been doing this. This is the 3rd year, and just hoping we get the win. Well, not hoping, we're gonna get the win.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, no,
super confident.
Absolutely, it's time. Yeah, and speaking on that, obviously Carroll, great program, great team. Mm-hmm. What have you seen from them on film that they do really well, and maybe what do you guys have to do on offense to have some success this week?
Well, what we know so far is they got one of the best defenses in the conference. They're only letting teams average 190 yards of offense, 15 points per game, so we're going to have to be on our A game. They have super good safeties. They got good corners. They got good fronts. We just got to be prepared for anything.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a battle.
Yeah. What do you think the keys are for your offense this week?
We just got to get the ball out get the ball out quick.
Yep.
Just got to execute on all levels, starting from up front just to us. We got to be physical. These guys are really physical. So
I love it. Yeah, I know. That's what it's about, right? And you get on the conference championship on the line. It's going to be a physical battle, and you got to be ready to show up for it, right?
Sure.
So, well, Yo fans, we appreciate you guys tuning in to another week. We know we'll see you guys on the stream at noon. Kickoff times at noon this week in Helena. And John, thanks for your time, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.